fresh Cowboy Butter Brats. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to make our Cowboy Butter Brat. When I say fresh sausage, I just mean that it's not cooked or cured ahead of time. In our case, this is going to be a fresh pork sausage. Our number 780 Cowboy Butter Brat is made to mimic actual cowboy butter. Cowboy butter is a melted or compound butter that has chili flakes, lemon, mustard, chives, and a little bit of parsley. A big key flavor is going to be a little bit of chipotle as well. Cowboy butter can be used to finish a steak or for dipping if it's melted, but we really like the flavor profile, so we thought we'd try it in a brat. And lastly, we have real butter in our seasoning blend to truly match the flavor profile of cowboy butter. For our fresh sausage, we chose pork shoulder, which has a great blend of fat and protein, which is going to make a good texture and flavor for our final sausage. When making a fresh sausage, you want somewhere between 20 and 30% fat. This is going to help with texture, flavor, and moisture content so we don't have a dry, crumbly final product. We'll start by breaking down our pork butt into grinder-sized pieces so that they fit through the chute and are easily ground up. We will temper our pork in the freezer for about 20 minutes to keep it nice and cold. This way, we don't have any smearing once it goes through the grinder. Smearing can happen when the fat starts to melt a little bit before being able to bind to the protein. This will cause the melting out of the fat when you cook and leaving a pure protein, dry, crumbly product in the end. We're going to go for a coarse grind brat, which means we're going to do a two-stage grinding process. We're going to start with a 10 millimeter or 3/8 inch plate. Grind that once through and change your plate to a 3/16 or a 4.5 millimeter. After grinding, set your meat back in the fridge so it stays nice and cool while you clean up and set up for the mixing process. When you order our 780 Cowboy Butter Brat, it's going to come with enough seasoning to make 25 pounds of meat. If you're making a smaller batch, just do a little math and weigh out the appropriate amount of seasoning. Once you weigh out your seasoning, we're also going to measure out a little bit of water. The rule of thumb I like to use is about 1 ounce of water per pound of meat. Water in the sausage is going to help with distribution of the seasoning and, obviously, moisture. Then I'll throw on some gloves and mix until that seasoning is really well incorporated. Once the meat becomes tacky and sticks to your hand, this means that the protein extraction has started. The fats and the proteins have bound together well. Today we're using a 32 to 35 millimeter natural hog casing. First thing we want to do is rinse our casings and get them soaking in some lukewarm water. You want to let them soak for at least 45 minutes to an hour before using them, because then they'll be a little more workable and they'll be nice and flushed. Isolate a strand of casing and open one end with 2 fingers. Dunk in water for a final rinse of the casing. This will also help you thread it onto the stuffing horn. Then, with a little bit of pressure on the stuffing horn, start cranking and filling your casings. If you see some air buildup, use the back of a knife to knock a few times on the stuffing horn. This will release any air pockets. Next, it's time to link up our sausages. Start from one end and gently pinch about 8 inches in length. Twist away from you 6 or 7 times to create the link. Continue on until all your sausage is linked up. Once your sausage is linked up, set them on a sheet tray and throw them in the fridge to rest for about 3 or 4 hours minimum, ideally overnight. This will help the flavors disperse throughout the sausage, kind of like building a soup and letting it rest overnight. When you're ready, unlink your sausages and grill them up how you like. Now it's time to taste. Cut a few here because you can't just have one. All right, and look at that. We got some beautiful jalapenos and chipotle in there, nice and juicy. That's a great sausage. I love it. Our 780 Cowboy Butter Brat has the perfect blend of salty, little bit of sweet, and perfect amount of heat. It's a really nice balance between the lemon, which is pretty subtle, the heat, which is not numbing, but it's good background heat, and that butter flavor really stands out. This bratwurst stands alone really well, but if you wanted to add some inclusions, you could add some diced jalapeno, some high temp pepper jack cheese, or even some diced onion. And as a finisher, With a lot of brats, I like to use caramelized onions for an extra pop of sweetness. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, and you can check us out on all forms of social media. If you want to try the 780 Cowboy Butter Brat, head to psseasoning.com to start your order now. Until next time, I'm Chef Jed. Thanks for watching.